This is yet another tutorial of Python for data analysis series. In this video we are gonna look at what is Jupyter Notebook, how does it work, how to initialize that, and the basic commands, tips and tricks. So stay tuned for more in this video. We'll start with Conda. We'll see what environments are running right now. And if you don't know what is Conda and how to do that, I have a video, the tutorial 1 of this series. You can check that out. I'll put the link in the description below. And so these are the environments running. I'll go on and create a new environment. This is I'm calling it demo, and then Python. I'm going to get 3.6 here. So yeah, now it will create an virtual environment, and I guess it's done. No, it's not done. Yeah, it's asked me. You can check all these commands in my previous video. So we are back, and the environment has been done. So we'll activate that environment. So activate, and then our environment was called demo. Then I have activated the demo. You can see here. For this part, I'll create one new repository called Jupyter Notebook demo, and then just demo. So I'll initialize it with readme, and I'll create a new repository. Now I'll clone it. So I have to deactivate the now we'll go to desktop and then git clone. If you don't know what git is, I have this is tutorial 3. The tutorial on git, it's in second part. You can check that out as well. I'll put the link in the description below. So I'll go on, hit and enter. So you can see here on this, we have Jupyter Notebook now. Then we'll activate the virtual environment here, and then we'll go into Jupyter Notebook demo. Now if you'll see, we'll have the readme. Then to initialize Jupyter Notebook, there are two ways basically. You can go into that Anaconda navigator, what I talked about in the tutorial 1, or you can initialize directly with this command, Jupyter, and just plain notebook. As soon as you hit enter, there will be a kernel starting over here. So as you can see here, we are inside this. The benefit of this is that you can be project specific when you are initializing Jupyter Notebook. You don't have to be starting it with on the desktop basically. So this is a cool feature here, and you can see the kernel has been started, and as long as this is running, we can run our code here. If this dies, then we don't have anything over here. I'll go on. I'll zoom it a bit. I'll go on, create a new Python 3. So we are here on the Jupyter Notebook page. Now I'll demonstrate you a few things basically. So one of the things is how to execute a particular cell. It executes cell by cell in Notebook, and if I want to execute a particular cell, suppose I want to execute print hit shift plus enter. It's a shortcut. You can basically execute the same thing from here. This is when you press this, so it's basically the same thing, but it comes more handy when you press shift plus enter while you are walking through the code. Then second thing what I want to tell you is that the various feature why Jupyter Notebook is so famous nowadays is the markdown feature of this particular thing. So we have a couple of things what I want to demonstrate. The first of which is the usage of escape command. So escape basically takes you to into the command mode, and then you can execute various shortcuts. So I'll just go over the keyboard shortcuts. So if I type keyboard shortcuts, so you can see here command mode, press escape to enable. So as soon as I press escape and keep pressing it and then execute any of these press any of these buttons, then I'll do that particular task instead of going here and insert cell above. So if I want to insert cell above, so I have to go in this tab and then hit insert cell above. So rather than doing this, I'll simply go here and press escape plus A. So you can see then that a new cell has been added above that, and then if I want to add one cell below, then I'll press escape plus B. And if I have to delete the cell, you can delete the cell from here as well. So delete cells, so you can delete, but you have to do it like it's a tedious job basically. So you have to, every time you have to go into that edit tab and then press click the delete cells option. Instead what you can do is then press escape and 2 times D button. So 2 times D escape and 2 times D escape and 2 times D. So you can see that you will be able to delete, and you'll be able to walk through the whole process much more smooth, and your basically the experience will be much more smooth when you know the keyboard shortcuts. Then you have the kernels over here. When you are working with the suppose large data sets and your memory goes out of, your memory is not sufficient, this kernel dies. So kernel, what I explained, the kernel, it's already running. Just let me pull that off real quick. Yeah, this kernel is running. As long as this kernel is running, this is running. So basically if it goes out of memory, then we'll have nothing over here. It's just a plain, nothing will happen over here. So and suppose if memory goes out of bounds, then you can just restart the kernel, and you can see here the restarting kernel appears. Then is a kernel ready. Then if you want to clear the outputs, the existing output, it will be helpful when you'll have multiple cells with long outputs that you want to clear all the outputs and restart. So just restart and clear output basically. So now the kernel is restarting, but the output is gone. So these all little stuff you can do with the shortcut keys as well. What I want to demonstrate in this is basically 2-3 things what I found very interesting about Jupyter Notebook. The Markdown, where you can basically document the whole stuff what you're doing. So if I want to say that I am executing this particular command, you can just simply type and then execute it. So it will be simply stored as text, it won't be executed. So it's a Markdown mode, and there are many tons of usage of Markdown mode. So that if I want to give it a title, if I'm explaining the code to somebody, then if I want to give a particular title to that, then I'll type single hash and then title. Then if I want to give a subtitle, then you will have a subtitle and two hashes. Then you'll have 3 hash for heading. So the list goes on. I mean, Markdown is so much useful. Then you have if you want to type out formulas, so that's pretty interesting. If you want to explain some equation, if you're working with linear regression or anything, then if you want to explain that equation or what you did to tweak that, or any kind of documentation, you can simply put $2 then suppose I'm explaining it with x plus y equals to 4, or yeah, 4. So if I now execute this cell, it won't give something, some output. Like if I go x plus 2 equal to 4, if this is the equation, it won't throw some error or anything. It's just the text, but it's well formatted and everything. So there are a couple of things, and then we have what do you call it, the indentation. Yeah, so if I want to insert an indentation, then I have to go, oops, let's remove that. And if I want to insert an indentation here, then I'll again go to Markdown mode. Basically Markdown, you can go from here as well. So you can see there's code, then there's Markdown raw NV converter. We'll talk that about later. And then as soon as we enter the Markdown mode, if you want to insert an indentation, then simply add greater than sign and then space, and then type like the above is the equation to demonstrate symbol, and I'll execute this cell. So you see here you have inserted an indentation, and it won't get over until you hit it back. So if I want to be done with the indentation, and if I want to change the line, it won't change the line basically. So if you type that something after entering, if you type this is the change of line, so it won't change the line, you can see. And if I want to change the line, then I'll hit the greater than sign and then again enter a space and then enter. Now it will change the line because we did that. And so there are tons of usage to this. Like you want paragraph wise explanation for something, you want to give your supervisor something like really beautiful layout, and you want to basically demonstrate how the code is working. This is very useful. So next I want to talk is that if you want to insert an image, so I have copied the image to this particular folder, and then in this particular folder we have this image and the notebook file what we are working on, untitled. So if you want to rename the file, basically type it as demo. And if you want to insert an image over here to explain something, some concept or anything, then you have to go into Markdown mode and then this command img and then source, and then you have to type the image name, or you can type the path as well. So and now you can type img. Yeah, so now you can see here we have the logo. So in this way you can insert images as well. And if you're but one tip here, that if you want this notebook to be published on GitHub, then you have to publish the image file as well, because it's taking it locally, so it won't go into that company. So if that file is on your GitHub repository, your image has to be there with it. And then second thing we have is if you want to insert, like if you want to segment it out, simply go into the Markdown mode and simply type 3 asterisks and then hit shift and enter. So you can see a mild thin line over here which separates the this section from this section. Yeah, so now if we want to enter, so let's suppose we want to have this section, this is divided into the section like segmentation, and then we'll go into the Markdown mode again, and then we can assign the section ID to this as well. So if I want to assign a section ID, I will type AID, then suppose section ID, any ID you can give, and then So the section ID section ID basically it's assigned to this particular cell. I'll hit enter. Now if I want to switch to this section, insert a link, internal link kind of thing. This is the title, you can put anything here. Then hash, single hash, the name of this section. So yeah, so now if you click, I mean if the notebook is big enough, right now it's nothing, but if the notebook is big enough, like, then you can use this feature to switch to that particular section, yeah, instantly. Then you have external links as well, that if I want to send the viewer to a particular link before going further with the code, then I can insert the external link. So it's done using the it's all done in the markdown mode, and you'll enter under a single underscore. Then so suppose I have to put my GitHub link over here. Then so GitHub, and then put the link in the parenthesis. And then I'll again close it with the single underscore, and then I'll hit enter. As soon as I click over here, it will take me to my repository or the link. So this is sometimes useful. And then I'll save it. You can save the I'll simply type print hello, and then if I want to see what else it can do, basically what else this function can do, that's known as docstring. So I'll press shift and tab, so it will show me the docstring, what all values can be inserted, value, the separation by and the end, file and flush, and anything if you want to specify anything at all. Then another another thing is if you want to split the cells. So if I type print and if I want to separate these two lines into different cells, then I can type I can go with control shift and single dash, so it will separate these two into different cells. So this is also useful sometimes if you accidentally write the two functions in one cell, then you can separate the split it into two cells without having it all copied then or cut and then paste. So it's much if you know the shortcuts, is basically very easy to operate with Jupyter Notebook. Escape plus F basically to find and replace. So if I want to replace world with earth or something, then I'll replace all, so the world got replaced with earth. So you have escape plus shift plus M to merge the cells. So you can see these two cells are merged. If I again type control shift and this, you can split it again. So a lot of things, I'll put all this in an article on LinkedIn, you can view that. Yeah, this is pretty much it. I mean, there will be something like if you want to have the text bold, then you have to insert like 2 underscores and then type whatever you want, and then 2 underscores, so it will turn the text into bold. Then if you change it to single underscore, it will change it to italic. So these are a couple of functionalities you can go through. There's a lot of documentation on Jupyter Notebook, and the most important thing is that you cannot run this file directly from the terminal, like how you used to do in .py file, that Python, and then you'll simply type the file name and hit enter. So you cannot execute this file from there using that command. So what you can do is, and you cannot even import the function. So there are some scripts that can do that, but it's not advisable. Like it's too much pain for little work, and you can simply do it by saving and just downloading it as a .py file. So download as .py. So if you do that, then we'll download it as a py file. Now you can execute it with the, so now if I take this, oh. So now you can change this to .py, then hit enter. You'll ask that okay, use .py to do that, and then you can run this file from the terminal. So I'm going to terminal now, and yeah, I go into that particular folder, and then I run python demo.py. Now it will run that machine, but it won't run the notebook file python demo.ipy. So you can see it won't run that. So yeah, thanks for watching this. Please like, share and subscribe.